Hello, it's Angie. Are UK pensions really safe in 2025? Every month, millions of workers and retirees trust that their pension contributions will protect their future. But here's the thing, pensions in Britain are under a lot of pressure. Fees, risky investments, inflation and political battles are all eating away at retirement security. Right now, the Reform Party is attacking ESG and Net Zero investment. So what does this mean for us? Well, ESG stands for Environmental, Social and Governance Investing. It's a strategy that considers not just profit, but also environmental and social impacts. Net zero investments are investments aligned with reducing greenhouse gas emissions to net zero by a certain date, typically 2050. Now, the Reform Party are actively criticising and wanting to stop such investment strategies. Meanwhile, millions of pensioners face losing out on the state pension triple lock, which would be terrible for them. This is the UK pensions crisis, and unless we act, it could shape every retirement in the country. So let's look at how UK pensions really work. Most people think pensions are like savings accounts. You pay in, your employer pays in, then you get your money back in retirement. But that's not how it really works. Your pension, you see, is invested in the stock market, in bonds, in property, and even in private equity. These investments rise and fall. If your pension fund grows 3%, but inflation is, say, 5%, you're actually losing money in real terms. On top of that, pension funds take fees, often 1% or more. Over decades, that can wipe out a third of your savings. So, your pension is vulnerable to markets, inflation, and vulnerable to hidden costs. Now, for much of the 20th century, pensions were solid, where final salary schemes guaranteed workers an income for life. You retired at 60 or 65 and you were covered. But those schemes collapsed. Why? Well, people lived longer, costs went up, companies couldn't keep their promise. By the 1990s, final salary pensions were almost gone, replaced by defined contribution schemes. That meant the risk shifted from the employer to you, the worker. Now your retirement depends on markets and government policy, not a guarantee. So let's look at today's risks in 2025. Today, UK pensions are worth trillions, and the fight over them are heating up. Take the Reform Party, led by Nigel Farage and Richard Tice. Now, they claim LGPS spends more time on climate change reports than on financial performance. He points to an illiquid climate investments and high fees. At the same time, private pensions face similar risks. Many are tied to volatile global markets. And the state pension? Millions are missing out on the full triple lock uplift in 2025. That means retirees relying on inflation protection are left short, namely those falling before the 2015 rules. This isn't just politics, it's people's livelihoods. Then there is the myth of balancing the books. It's a common myth. Governments must balance their books like households do. But that's not true. Households can't print money. Governments can. When the UK government spends, it creates pounds. Government debt is not like personal debt. It's a record of private sector savings. The real limit is not money, it's resources, skills, workers, energy, infrastructure. When you hear all our politicians say we can't afford pensions, it's not really about affordability. It's about priorities. It's about choice. Do we choose to fund retirement security, or do we funnel wealth into subsidies and tax cuts for the wealthy? Modern monetary theory, MMT, shows us pensions can be funded sustainably if we use resources wisely. So what happens if nothing changes? If we carry on like this? Well, fees continue to drain private pensions. Councils gamble pension money on illiquid assets. The triple lock keeps getting chipped away, not just for some, but for all of us. And the result will be millions will work longer, retire poorer, and depend more on an NHS already stretched to breaking point. This is not a natural disaster. It is the direct result of political choices. So, how do we fix UK pensions? How do we fix this problem? First, let's have some transparency, shall we? Pension funds must clearly publish where money is invested, what fees are being charged, and what risks exist, so we all understand what's going on behind the scenes. No more cloak and dagger stuff for us. Second, let's have some fairness, shall we? The state pension triple lock should apply equally to all retirees, not just to some of us as it does at the moment. Look at my video on the triple lock and you'll see how it is unfairly distributed to pensioners. Third, there's accountability. Pensions should not be used as tools for political point scoring, which they are, whether on climate investments or austerity cuts. And finally, new economic thinking. The UK must recognise that governments don't run out of pounds. They don't. The constraint is real resources. If the work, the skills and the energy exist, pensions can and should be protected. So, are our pensions safe in 2025? No, not by default they're not. They're safe only if we demand change, which we must. Because yours and my pension is yours and my future, yours and my dignity, yours and my independence. But unless politicians stop clinging to outdated economics, millions will face insecurity in retirement. Do you know, this crisis isn't inevitable. It really isn't. It's a choice. It is. It really is a choice. And together we can choose differently, because retirement should not mean fear. We've worked hard all our lives, struggled, and some of us have had to work longer than they should have done. So we should not have to live in fear after we retire, fear of running out of money when we've worked and paid for it. No way. It really is a matter of choice, and our politicians should not try and conceal the real issues behind the old politics, behind the old stories. They should bring themselves up to date with the new modern monetary theory. If you enjoyed this video today, please like and subscribe and share for others who are in a similar position to us. And I look forward to seeing you all in the next video. Bye for now.